It is Halloween, and if you crave that tight squeezing feeling that you get in your guts as a zombie pops out at you during your favorite movie, or if you consider the sweat that runs down your back after a good scare as vital to you as your own blood, then there's a place in Pittsburgh that you will likely fall in love with. Inside the corpse of the once busy but now nearly abandoned Pittsburgh Mills Mall rests a heart of horrific entertainment that beats during the Halloween season. If you head through entrance number 4 of the mall and walk past the movie theater, you'll be greeted by a zombified Donnie Iris, who will guide you just around the corner in a charming Yinzer accent to what has been ranked one of America's scariest Halloween attractions by Forbes, Good Morning America, the Travel Channel, and many others. That attraction, the bloodbath just across the hall from the Bath & Body Works, is Scarehouse. 2021 marks the 20th year that Scarehouse has provided thrills to fans of fear. The attraction has found a home in multiple different locations around the Pittsburgh area, gathering brand new dedicated fans in each one. Scarehouse hosts a different season every year, with each one containing different themes and plot lines. Heather Heizenreiter is one of the main contributors in bringing those stories to life.
There's 3 themes. The first one's called Demon Hour. It's like a haunted house, feels like Conjuring, or we have an old haunt called Infernal, very much like that, a lot of like demons running around. And then we have Oblivion, our second one. Like I said, I call that one like our 80s sci-fi fever dream thing. It's very disoriented, lots of bright lights, lots of fun characters. And then our last one's called End Days, and that one is just like every single apocalypse has happened all at once, or like apocalypse after apocalypse keeps happening, and this is just the world it is.
Heizenreiter has been with Scarehouse for 4 years and knows the haunt like the back of her hand. She can tell you which of these photos are meant to be hung crooked and which should be straight. She knows the origin of every skull, gothic antique, and demonic book within the attraction. After all, she's one of the people who helps put them all there and find the perfect home for them.
I think it helps that like we dress the sets too. So once everything's done painting, then we dress everything, and each room has like a certain feel that we want. Like this one, we wanted it to have like old office, like someone's been deep into like the occult, just different mysteries and things. And one room is supposed to feel like more like a girls' room from the 70s. So there's just certain rooms that have certain feels, and especially whenever like you go and look for all these different props, you kind of get an idea of like, oh, this doesn't feel like this goes in this room. And like I said, once you set everything up, you remember. I kind of have a good photographic memory of, like, oh, this goes in this room on this shelf. So that's just how my memory works.
The props that help turn ordinary rooms into scenes from nightmares are not always handy. They come from all around the country, or they are handmade by different members of the Scarehouse team.
There's sometimes we'll go through a room where like this room needs something. So like we'll go on like Facebook Marketplace or just thrift stores, and we just kind of look and you're just like, that's it. That's the one piece, that's perfect. Usually we have like a size dimension in mind too, because we have to keep a 36-inch pathway for like ADA code things for the pathway for people to come in. So size is always in mind too, but yeah, I feel great that we recycle a lot of things, and if we can't find a certain product, then we go and build it.
Another part of what makes Scarehouse and the chilling treasures that lay within it feel so much like Pittsburgh is because many components come from iconic locations or memorable events that live or take place in the city.
So we have some old tech from KDKA, I believe. Just like old outdated computer and news things. That's the ones that I know of so far, but yeah, we always have people like donating things or like having estate sales, and they reach out for us to like take some things off their hands. We have some bones from The Last Witch Hunter that was filmed with Van Diesel in Pittsburgh. We have those, that's fun. We have some other props from that movie too, or we did, but sold them or someone else took them and things like that. So it's kind of fun just to know the history of, like, you think it's just, some old piece of junk, but it's from like an old movie set or something.
What does not come from the city itself can sometimes be found at conventions, where you would find more cosplays of Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees than Spider-Man and Darth Vader.
They're haunter conventions. They're usually in, I think, February, but yeah, you can like look them up. They're all over the country. It's like a trade show where people who make animatronics and just different types of props and the fog and the scents, they're all there. And anyone can go to them. So if you're a home haunter and you just want to make, trick or treat super special, you can go and buy these things. And a lot of them, all of them are online too. Like you can go to vendors' websites and purchase through them. And yeah, it's just cool. A lot of people will dress up or they have their animatronics on show and actors running around, and it's really fun.
While the countless props certainly make up a huge component of the atmosphere of Scarehouse, it would not be as vivid without the countless hours of painting put into the haunt. Heights & Ryder is a scenic painter for Scarehouse and adds every burn mark, cult symbol, and speck of dust that lays within the rooms.
With scenic painters, it's like a joke making like wood look like other wood. So like the paneling in like this room, it's all fake. Like that's all like a paint texture, or making things look gross and grimy. We do that with all paint or like dust. Like everything looks like it's dirty and dusty, but it's all mostly some type of paint or wood stain. Sometimes we need murals or just making wood look like it's metal. So it's all like an illusion of just trying to trick your eye to make things look like something else, kind of just disguising it or camouflaging it. My favorite, anything I do with like fluorescent paint or black light is really fun. My first year we redid a haunt called Nocturnia, and it was all circus themed. And it used to be black and white, but we wanted to put pops of fluorescent colors in there. And there's certain types of 3D glasses you can get that makes that fluorescent paint look 3D. So that was really fun. Just painting in black light with super bright colors. I love circuses, so that's probably been my favorite.
One of the illusions that Heights & Ryder has to create involves the use of a special paint that produces the gore on the floor and the splatters on the wall.
It's called Perma Blood. We get like 5-gallon buckets of it. A lot of haunts use it. And it does dry like it looks like it's wet blood. It's very glossy looking. And yeah, sometimes I have to look up certain ways of like blood splatters and things like that, and certain rooms I'm told to make it look like someone exploded multiple times to get that like the goriest look. And there's different techniques to get certain types of blood splatters.
After the visual elements are added to the haunt, the creative team members have to concoct different methods of stimulating another sense, and it may not be the one you expect.
So we want you to be immersed in this environment as much as we can, and we try to use like all the senses. So things are obviously like dark, and just that already makes you feel like you're in somewhere. But we like to use smell too, so we get like certain smells and scents that we put into the fog machines, and we try to make it related to that set. And it just really makes you like feel like you're in that place, that you can even smell it. We have rotten cheese, we have fart, we have, there's one called Gothic for the church. There's, I think, body odor. Yeah, there's many different ones. There's one called Boiler Room too. I think it smells like barbecue, but it just is like that like greasy kind of engine smell too. But yeah, we have, I think, Campfire's one too, but yeah, it's a fun mix of a whole bunch of different scents.
The time and dedication put into developing the set are not to be underappreciated. But Scarehouse is a team effort, and everyone knows that a good haunted house would not be complete without an actor standing tableau in the shadows waiting to give you a jump scare. Meet JJ Byers, Christine Mancini, and Noah Welter. The three are members of the Scarehouse cast who wear a couple of different hats within the attraction.
I am the assistant show manager for this year, so helping out, keeping things organized, getting the actors what they need, where they need to be, helping them with where they're getting like their costumes and different things like that, answering questions.
I'm an actor.
Scare people.
I'm the same. I'm one of the actors in the haunt this year.
There are above 40 actors that live in the haunt during each performance at Scarehouse.
I'm the hero scavenger tonight. This is actually my first night working this season. First night working in the haunt for like 2 years, actually. So I don't know what my favorite is this year. This one, probably. Yeah, I've played other roles in the past, but yeah, it's this is the first time in this space acting.
I'm playing a cannibal tonight. And that's pretty much what I've been playing this season. Last season I played here, there, and wherever. I like all the spaces. There's no such thing as a bad space in this haunt. You can figure out how to make it work wherever you are.
When I act, I'd have to say for at least this year, my favorite's been Overlord. Just because it's so fun to get unexpected people that are just like, oh, he's a prop. He's just not going to do anything. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Not a prop. I don't think that's real.
That's about the mindset that happens.
Yeah.
While this trio has found their roles for this particular session of the haunt, they can often be found wearing other costumes and dishing out frights in alternative locations on different nights. This is a process that often requires the actors to prepare different strategies that allow them to truly find the right way to play their character for that night. Each actor prepares differently.
When I went to school at Slippery Rock. I got a minor in theater, and one of the things that we were taught was it's called Archetypal Gestures, which is essentially, there's a few different ones, and it's these movements that you essentially like feel your energy in your body, and it's depending on what you want to exude, like that kind of energy, whether it's like a smashing kind of angry energy, or you're trying to pull something out of someone, like information or something like that, and you kind of get that energy in your head before that you step into that character, and then you can bring that energy into the scene, or in this case, into the haunt. And that's something that I do almost every night pretty religiously before I start. I kind of figure out what kind of energy I want to bring, and then I do this movement over and over again to harness that energy, and then I just let it flow.
For me, it's the physical space that I'm in determines what I'm going to do for that night, because some spaces call for and allow for more physicality and more movement. Some spaces call for less physicality, less movement, volume. All that's based on the scene that you're in, what's happening in the section of the haunt that you're in, and what makes sense to do based on the flow of the entire theme. So it varies, creating a character on the fly based on what spot you're in.
Once the actors find themselves in the right headspace, they have to prepare to engage in one of the most interactive forms of acting, a style of acting that requires a lot of improvisation and quick judgment towards a situation.
I think the biggest thing that makes scare acting in a regular haunt different is you need to have a quick ability to kind of read the people as they're coming towards you, if you can see them from where you are, and immediately know what kind of performance you're going to give them so they are entertained. You see a group coming and they look like they're having a really great time, then maybe you give them a bit more humor, because if they're not the kind of people that get scared in a haunt but they just love haunts, entertain them. If you see someone coming through who looks terrified, you resist the urge to go gigantic and annihilate them sometimes. But you give them, because then you also realize that it only takes a little bit of scare to get a big reaction from them. So as an actor, you need to be smart and conserve your energy through the night, and reading who's coming at you is, a good way. The only time I violate my conserve your energy rule is sometimes we'll say tough guys. Sometimes tough guys come through. My personal goal in life is to make tough guys jump and drop to the ground.
That goal is achieved more often than you would think.
Yeah. Because, and that is, if you're coming to a haunt, come to have fun.
Yes.
Come and enjoy the show, drop your defense mechanisms, and don't feel bad that we got you. Because guess what? We didn't get you. We're entertaining you. That's what you came for. If you're going to walk, stay home. But thank you for coming to see us and buying a ticket, I guess is the way to put it. But wasting your own personal energy, resisting to react to the immersion that you're in, go watch a movie. Come and enjoy a live performance and really engage in it. Allow yourself to get scared and get surprised. And, I love when I hear, different customers say, oh, that one really got me, or that one actually got me, because they've been trying to not be gotten. And that's got to be exhausting. Just relax and enjoy and go through. Let us entertain you.
Frightened visitors are not the only ones who work up a sweat. To be an actor at Scarehouse, a high amount of dedication is required. With heavy costumes or thick masks on, actors sometimes have to wear ice pack vests underneath their outfits. Boiled down, actors at Scarehouse have to be committed.
I am not a young child any longer. So yeah, the level of commitment and determining how you can, like JJ was talking about, keep it up throughout the course of a long night and then 3 nights in a row, et cetera, et cetera. Just being able to have different variations of how you perform as far as different levels of intensity and switching it up during the night so you don't burn yourself out by doing the same thing. Just the level of commitment that being a haunt actor is, here and anywhere else. Anyone that goes into any haunt and says, that haunt was, there are people that have no idea about how much work it takes to run and maintain a haunt show night after night, year after year. So if you go to any local haunt, be happy that you have a local haunt, because not too many come back for decades. Some of them are a couple years and then they fade, because it's a job, it's work. We have a blast doing it, but there's a ton of work and commitment to it, especially the commitment part. People, that might be fun. Then you get into it and realize, this is
a lot more than
I thought it would be. This is 2 months of my weekend life being, gone. Even more, because some haunts are open many more days a week than we are. So just knowing what you can do, and that it's like any other job. There's a commitment to it.
The hard work is not done without help, though. In fact, it seems to bring the members of Scarehouse extremely close together.
Can't stand any of these people.
Not at all.
I drive over an hour to get here when there are solid haunts much closer to where I live, but I continue to work for Scarehouse because of the family that we are and what we do and how we work together and support each other and love each other, and we are Scarehouse. There's a lot to that.
Yeah, it's very, very tight-knit. We support each other a lot. A lot of us do a lot of different acting things outside of the haunt season as well. Even just hanging out with everybody and everything like that. It's awesome. We build each other up, we support each other, and we become this swoopy little family with everything, which is really, really cool.
It really is. I feel like in a lot of jobs and a lot of occupational things, they always say, like, we're a family, and this is the only place that I've ever actually felt like that is like a true statement. The love and the support that is within Scarehouse it's unbelievable. It really is.
Just like any family, the camaraderie in Scarehouse sometimes leads to some playful antics. Antics that lead to a laugh, but often stem from terror.
So one of the things that I have to do, being the assistant show manager, is occasionally walk through to make sure that, and walk through as a guest to make sure that everybody's, see how everyone's doing, see if we maybe need to tweak something if it's not working out for them or anything like that. So in doing so last night, I don't know if everyone decided to have a discussion behind my back or not, but they decided to just go straight A game, which is our top of the top, and I've been working here for 6 years, and that was the first time that I think I continuously shuffle walked through the entire thing all the way up until the end, where the last scare had me actually sprinting down the hallway when I knew full well who it was, what they were going to do, and I was literally screaming for my life. And where we exit, all the other staff was looking at me like, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, they're fine. And then I just walked away for a minute to collect myself.
No.
They're fine, I'm not.
Despite their occasional teasing, just like any other family, the jokes can be set aside and the love can be spread, with veteran actors and older members looking out for newer actors, often offering tips and tricks.
I actually have no prior acting experience from before working here, and so I've had to take a mixture, and that's I'm going to keep coming back to it just because it's just so true. We can rely on each other so much. The veteran actors that we have, it's such a breath, for me, it's a breath of fresh air, because I know that I can go to any of them to talk to Noah and just be like, hey, what do you think would be good for this? Or talk to Mancini and be like, hey, what do you think for this?
You are a beautiful butterfly.
Thank you. And we even, the range of acting that we have even character actors and everything, such as Creepo and everything, he's been our actor for that. He's been doing that for that's his character. And the best part is
the vast majority of the 20 years of Scarehouse's existence, Tom has played Creepo to perfection in whatever dynamic they put Creepo into, because the character stays the same, but they change the environment around Creepo sometimes, and he just brings it.
But you can go up to and ask.
Everyone loves clowns.
Yeah, but you can ask him questions of like, how do you get into that character's mindset and everything, and then we even have we have a father-daughter team that work here too as well, and brothers, and it's just. You get to see the dynamics that pop in with that, and we all pull from each other. So what you see is a collective of the whole of everybody what they bring to it. It's just fantastic.
The sweat, preparation, planning, and communication all pay off once the haunt begins, though, and actors can sit back and smile at their work after reactions from visitors show that the scare has been successful.
I can speak in general ways. I can't really think of a specific, but one of my favorite things that happens is, and a lot of actors experience this, and it's terrific. There's two versions of it. One, there's a couple going, and usually, we'll say the presenting as male is in front of or behind the presenting as female, because we're not going to assume gender on anybody. But you get them, and one of two things happens. You hear the person in front go because the person behind them got scared and squeeze them, trying to act like they weren't scared, but they actually just squeezed the breath out of their friend going through the haunt. Or the other top version of that is you get the person in the back and they actually pick up the person they're with and put that person between you and them, and they move away, so they leave their person that they're going through with as a sacrifice to the haunt creatures, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think pretty much everyone's experienced that to varying degrees, and that's always, or you get someone and they start running, but they're not going anywhere. Their feet are just going really, really fast. I could go on and on and on and on. Yeah.
While the actors certainly bring on hard-hitting scares, they would not be nearly as terrifying without the help of the makeup artists who paint the characters into reality. Kirsting is one of those makeup artists, and she often acts, too. Her typical day at Scarehouse lasts a little longer than the day of a traditional scare actor.
So for me, I get here a little bit earlier than everyone else does because I'll usually be doing makeup. Before I get here though, I'll actually do my own makeup and hair for my character of the night. And then I'll get here, I'll go and get my costume. I'll get into costume, and then I'll kind of get my station ready for makeup, and then wait for all of my friends to get here and then start doing their makeup. And then once everyone else is done, I'll go out and scare and entertain people for the night.
The work done by the makeup artists at Scarehouse is very important. Visitors to the attraction have fallen in love with a series of creepy creatures, including a large rabbit with a chainsaw and several terrifying clowns. Kirsting says that maintaining those iconic looks helps keep Scarehouse true to itself while also enhancing the stories happening within the attraction that make the tour feel so engaging.
Each character has a very specific look, and we try to keep them consistent. It's almost kind of like Disney World, where you kind of want to keep a consistent look to the character to keep it believable. But I really think in the makeups, you can see the character's story, whether they were in the apocalypse and they got beat up and now they're here trying to tell you to get out and they're surviving. You can see the kind of gruesome wounds that they have, or they're a crazed housewife who kind of has their lipstick all smeared up, or they're a creepy clown that kind of has a really spooky backstory. Each character has such an iconic look, and the makeup really tells their story and brings that character to life. I definitely think our clown characters take one of the longest, just because of that base that you have to put on them, and then all the little detail, and especially if they are one of our iconic face characters, we want to make sure they look really consistent every night, because that's what you see in the promotional videos. You got to keep them looking consistent, and that takes the most detail. Every makeup artist has a different style, and that's what I think makes Scarehouse really unique, is each one of us artists has a specific style, and you can see it in each of the looks. Yeah, the character has kind of a specific look that goes into them, but you can see the intricate little details that everybody adds. It's kind of like their own little personal brand that they put on the character that makes it really special.
The consistency of the characters is passed down among the employees and typically stems from a central artist.
So our makeup manager, Molly, she is the absolute best. And she's the one that comes up with these amazing designs for all of these characters. And she really takes the time to teach us and give us reference photos and show us the different products that we should be using for each of the characters, because some use different products than other characters. And that's what helps keep the makeup look consistent. And she is incredible with teaching us that we keep it consistent and making it look fantastically spooky every night.
Makeup director Molly Himes is so beloved by the members of Scarehouse that she even has her own Easter egg, a hidden treasure of many that lays within the haunt.
Yeah, we have little Easter eggs. They're like from movies or TV shows we really like, or they could be from haunts past. Like we have the summoning symbol. I like to always hide that throughout the haunt. Or like our names, like our makeup manager, her last name is Himes, and she likes pickles. So instead of Heinz pickle jars, we put her name on it too. So it's just fun little homages of just like our, like who all makes it, and just all of our favorite like nerdy shows we like to watch.
The passion for horror is apparent in the design of the set, but it also comes through with most of the employees, particularly Kirsting.
As someone who's never really found a place to fit in, I was a weirdo, a freak, whatever you want to call me, back in high school. I was always viewed different for my love of horror movies, my love of creepy makeup. Scarehouse is where I found my heart, my family, my place where I truly belonged. And these people here just thrive off of that passion and that love that we all share. And we created something so incredibly amazing together. And how could you not be passionate about a place like this?
After preparing one actor, the makeup artist will sterilize all of their equipment before moving on to the next one. This process continues until all of the participants are menacing and mean. Then they head to the haunt, where the fun begins and the tears start to flow.
I love making people cry and scared. I mean, how could you not? I mean, it's part of the job description. It definitely is very rewarding, because that's what you know, people come here to pay for, to be scared. And when you do get that one person like crying in the corner, you do really feel good. That is a good reward.
If there's one place where tears are shed more than the traditional haunt, it is in the favorite room of a lot of the team, the cold, dank basement of Scarehouse. Quite literally.
The basement is like our adult haunt, and it's you go in with only yourself or another person, and it is very interactive. You have to sign a waiver before you come in. It's just like a lot of touching. People like really get into your face. So if you want like extreme scares or feel like you're in your own horror movie, that's what the basement is.
For me, the majority of the acting that I've done in the haunt has been in the other haunt that Scarehouse does, called The Basement, which is like their over 18 experience. So frankly, some of the stuff that has happened with us,
We can't talk about.
no, we can't talk
your
about it.
interview.
There's a specific thing that comes to mind that we just can't talk about.
No, we can't share that story.
Yeah,
it's a good story.
The majority of the stuff that I've done is like a lot of hands-on and a lot of things that you can't say in interviews or in the upstairs haunt, because we're given a lot more free reign down there. So there's countless stories about that.
Right now, it's on hold due to COVID. We're still looking for a new home for it, but it will come back, hopefully next year. And a new location, and who knows what we're gonna do in there. We don't know the theme or anything, but I know everyone's excited for it to come back.
The combined efforts from all parties of the Scarehouse team have resulted in a love for the tour. This year, things are no different.
This is my happy place. This is always our happy place. I actually worked here in 2013, and when you look at the effort and the craftsmanship that goes into building this place, it's just very fun to be scared, and nobody does it better than they do it here. The love and the passion that goes into building this place, you can just see it everywhere. And it's just a great place to be.
To use the words of Chris Collins, a Scarehouse enthusiast, it truly is passion that makes the attraction feel so special. The people involved are passionate about what they do, they are passionate about each other, and they are passionate about the art that they create. This can be highlighted brilliantly by the gift shop that lays at the end of the tour. Work created by members of the team can be bought here, along with various merchandise from horror movies that are loved among all the members.
Love it. It's all self-contained, and I think it allows them to just create a wonderful environment that they had before, but this is just fabulous. It's just absolutely fabulous. Access in and out, the store and everything. It's fantastic.
At the end of the day, or the end of the night, Despite the fake blood, the impaled animatronics, the screams, and the growls, there are common themes among all visitors, artists, actors, and ghouls. A love for Scarehouse and a passion to share the fear.
Oh, you gotta love the bunny. Everybody loves the bunny. You love the big clown. It's just fabulous. And all the zombies that you see in the apocalypse. But yeah, the Scarehouse bunny is an icon, and you just gotta love it.
I just love Scarehouse. I think you can already tell.
It's fun. I love showing off like what we made, and there's little things I just like take for granted or just set in the back of my mind like, oh yeah, I painted that, and then you kind of move on to the next thing and forget about it. But you know, walking through, you can be like, oh yeah, we did this, and people find something that I do every day. People find that like super cool, or they just want to learn how to do it for like their own projects or their own at-home haunts. So yeah, it's fun. I like to show off what we did. We worked really hard. It's stressful, and it's just very satisfying just to see people love what we do. So
Come see us at Scarehouse.
Yeah.
We are Scarehouse. We are Scarehouse.
Who would you say is scary?
Her. It's her. It's her.
Why?
Well, if we unroll the resume, we're gonna need a lot of space.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. How many years do you have on acting?
How many years of acting experience in general? Decades.
Yeah, 30 years total with haunt acting. This is my 10th year at Scarehouse, and I do other acting as well. So I've been doing this for a minute.
The first time I met her, someone had mentioned her before. They said, you'll meet Mancini at some point. And I said, who's Mancini? And they said, you'll know when you see her. And I walked up and I said, hi, I'm Noah. And she snarled at me and walked away. Yep, like that. It was a good time.